Good morning, Board of Directors of Wells Fargo, and thank you very much for inviting us once again. We are Paloma and Maria from the Navarra-10 and Consulting Group. So after having analyzed the Wells Fargo case, it is hard to understand what went wrong. So how could this scandal arise? Wells Fargo has the same retribution incentive-based system that most of the other banks of the retail banking system. So how could this toxic culture expand over a company whose code of ethics inspires values such as integrity or honesty? Why didn't employees who did not want to act in a wrong and unethical way report to the hotline these practices? So we believe that the problem your firm is facing right now is a consequence of an ethical issue. So we consider that employees for decades have been opening fake accounts, have been charging illegal fees, have been taking advantages of elderly clients or people who didn't speak English very well. And moreover, managers have pressured them to act that way. And on the other hand, employees who didn't want to act that way were scared of contact the hotline because they were going to be fired. So in order to remove this toxic culture that your firm is facing right now, we have prepared an action plan with 5 measures that we will explain right now.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you for having us back. I will go on explaining 2 of the measures that we already explained yesterday, and then Maria will continue with the 3 following. So the first measure that we propose is that we change our retribution system. So the existing retribution system within Wells Fargo for cashiers, this is tellers, those in contact with clients and in direct charge of the sales, is solely based on goals. So we suggest that this goal system takes a more incentive-oriented approach. So a percentage of the retribution should still be based on goals, but yet another percentage should be based on incentives. Why? Because we believe that if we base a percentage of the retribution on incentives, this will give employees a sense of belonging to the corporation, that they're not only working for you, but also for themselves. But we know that this goal system pressured employees to act unethically, opening fake accounts and opening fake insurance for clients that already had hired products with Wells Fargo. So we also suggest a couple of measures so that goals do not mean this pressure for employees and that these actions stop. One of them is that goals are more realistic. And how can you do this? You can do this by investing resources and time in order to find out what the real market potential of each small area is. So in this sense, you will ask each of your employees to reach goals that are realistic within that area. And then another measure that we suggest is that you implement buffer measures. So this is that an employee doesn't have to meet their goals every month. So he knows that, for example, he can miss 1 month out of every 3 months. So if he misses a month of his goals, he knows that he's not going to be fired directly. The second measure that we suggest, and this is very, very important, is that you introduce training programs, ethical training programs at all levels of the organization. We designed and we discussed the other day 3 different programs. Programs for cashiers, programs for bankers, and programs for top management. The program for cashiers aims at promoting the use of your existing code of ethics and also promoting the use of the ethics line, the hotline. This program should be relatable, easy to follow, and it would also be digitally based so that employees can use it themselves. The program aimed for cashiers is a little different. It focuses on helping them identify the problematic behaviors inside the organization and also develop their motivation and leadership skills in order to put an end to these attitudes when they happen. And then last but not least, we have the program for top management. For example, yourself. In this sense, we think it's very important that we teach you what the legal environment is in this type of actions, because I'm sure you are interested in knowing the consequences that these type of actions have, not only ethical, but also from a legal perspective. And also, this program will help you develop your ethical conflict resolution skills and how to communicate these programs with middle managers. So, Maria, if you continue with the next measure.
Yes, thank you, Paloma. So the third measure we suggest you is to introduce an account review system with the goal of return the loyalty to customers. So the first thing we consider is that it would be a good measure for the clients to access a portal, an information portal in which they can see which products do they have with your company, all the information needed, so that they feel more secure about their products. And on the other hand, Wells Fargo could now give a general communication personalized to each client, telling exactly how many accounts they have open and the rest of products they have, with the same goal, like they may feel insecure now, or that they don't have control over their products, and with this measure we think they will feel more secure and they will trust again on Wells Fargo. And also, it would be very good that every time they hire or they purchase a new product, if they could have a confirmation email or an SMS with the terms of the contract and all the useful information they need. So a fourth measure we have discussed would be to improve the ethics line your company has. Actually, until now it has been managed by a third party, which we think it has to continue like that because it's the best way to guarantee employees' protection. And what we recommend you is to base that system on the SEC whistleblower program, because this program gives a lot of protection to employees, which is what we think now Wells Fargo employees need. They need protection because, well, with all this scandal, they were scared of using this line because they've seen some cases in which other employees that were using it were being fired. So they need to feel protected in order to use it. So the program is also good because it gives some monetary awards temporarily, and we consider this is good as an incentive to employees to use it. And thirdly, this measure also reports the ability, it gives the ability to report anonymously to the employees that they don't want to give their identity every time they call to the hotline. So we think this is a good measure. And the last measure we want to expose you is to consider creating an ethics committee. A committee that would report directly to the CEO of Wells Fargo and which main function will be to deal with ethical and controversial situations of the firm. It will also manage the hotline. I explained that the hotline will be managed by a third firm, so by a third party. So this ethics committee will be like the connection between the third party and Wells Fargo. And also another function of the committee would be to supervise or control the adherence of each employee to the code of conduct that you have. So if you can conclude, please.
I think we can all agree that it is ideal that we act ethically just because for the sake of it. However, unfortunately, this is not always the case. And in this case, we find ourselves with the problem that a lot of people inside Wells Fargo are willing to act unethically and put themselves first. So what can be done? Here we offered a pack of measures that we believe can help. In this sense, we offer two types of measures. First, there's a type of measure that limits or controls the performance of employees. So, for example, this is the case of the accounts review system, or for example, the changing of the retribution system. These type of measures, what they do is that they guide employees to act ethically. However, it would be best if we wouldn't need this type of measures. In this other sense, we introduce a second type of measures that are positive or motivating measures, if you wish. And these measures, such as, for example, the developing of the ethical training programs and the promoting of the hotline, what they do is that they install a positive attitude in employees. And what they look for is that they teach employees to do the right thing just because they want to. In fact, this type of measures is even more valuable for the company because what they do is that they provide employees with the tools they need to face whatever ethical issues might arise in the future. What we encountered here was a bunch of fake accounts being opened, which is quite a serious issue, but other more serious issues might arise in the future. And what's most interesting is that employees have the right tools in order to face these issues. we realized, and it's important to know, that even although these measures were implemented perfectly to the T, it's still possible that we wouldn't be able to eliminate this toxic culture. And why? Because this is a change that has to come from within. And this is not something we can guarantee, but something that we can suggest. And what we think is important is that you start with yourselves. So we encourage you to look at your own code of conduct, which is a great one, and start by integrating values and becoming an advocate of your own values. Because if you, the board of directors, are able to install this change, we believe that your employees will follow. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll be happy to come anytime.
With that, thank you all for coming. I think everybody did a great job, and I can only encourage you now to see, can you synthesize that down to 90 seconds? And cut it a little short, but that was a good job. And some of the groups I've seen more than once, and it was good to see some of the progress that was made from the initial presentations and others that I hadn't seen before. I think you did a fabulous job, so good luck going forward.
Thank you very much.